Hello and welcome to this special broadcast. My name is Vineet Malhotra, and joining us on the show is a very special guest, Murali Karthik, former Indian player and a very popular figure in commentary now, joins us to talk more. Murali, appreciate you taking out the time and speaking with us. First up, let me ask you, we are still tiding over the second wave. And there were a lot of concerns with everyone, including when the IPL was postponed and was stopped in the middle. Tell us about those days, those experiences. How was it for you? Were you apprehensive about things going haywire, which later on they did?
Firstly, thanks for having me, Vineet. Yeah, it's been a tough one for everyone if you look at it, and more so for people on the ground who are doing all the work. I think it's tougher for them. We were actually very well protected, to be very honest, as a commentary team. Where we were, our bubble was very secure, and we didn't do anything. So from that point of view, um, we didn't have any problems. But I can imagine with the teams traveling and some of them contracting. But that was the last 2 3 days before it was suspended. But before that, we were fine in the hotel. We were going to the ground, doing our work, and coming back to the hotel. Yeah, from that point of view, we were fine. But yeah, I can imagine what others would have felt.
Muli, when the IPL was still going on, things started to get haywire in the country. The second wave had gotten extremely aggressive. Delhi was reporting more than 20,000 cases a day. Maharashtra was close to reporting, a lakh cases a day. Did you start to get worried that, perhaps this is not the appropriate time to have a sporting fixture?
No, not exactly. I was fearing for people around India, and just the fact that even since last year, to be very honest, Vineet, I just got the feeling that as soon as a little bit of unlocking started, people just went berserk. I think it is our responsibility to make sure that we don't go out till the time we're not needed to go out. And I think it's the most important thing here is that we should all be happy in our own homes. Unfortunately, we all talk about this in sport. Control the controllables. The controllable is to be at home. I can imagine that people feel entrapped at home, but it shouldn't happen. The reason being, it's your own home. So we shouldn't be feeling entrapped in your own home. It's your home. We have got a head. We have got a roof above our head, and something to eat. So from that point of view, nobody should feel despondent. Coming back to the second wave, I think it hit everybody very hard. And also the question of having a big event like IPL. Look, you have to remember that during the IPL, it was closed doors. It's like a family playing carom board amongst ourselves. That's how it was. There was nobody, hardly any security personnel required. And also at the end of the day, people were playing sport, and we were in controlled environments, very controlled environments where we are getting tested every 3 days. And just being amongst ourselves, we don't get to see anybody. We don't see the outside world. We are in our own bubbles, which means that the rooms and the floors are all controlled. People with us, working for us, everybody is in the same bubble. So from that point of view, I didn't feel anything because we did that in Dubai. It went smoothly and went properly. And also we've had a couple of bilateral series after that. We played India, Australia in Australia, and then England played in India, and we were all fine. And it's just that sometimes when you travel, I can imagine it can get tough because when you go through airports and stuff, it can be tough because whatever control you have, whatever watertight bubbles you have, sometimes that can have a little bit of leakage. So from that point of view, yes, it we found that out later, but again, within our own bubbles, we felt very secure.
Mm. Well, do you think that this bio bubble concept is something which is going to be with us and with the cricketing fraternity for a long time? Obviously, cricketers, commentators, everybody associated with the sport, which are going to be exposing themselves, it's a contact sport, will get inoculated, will get the vaccine sooner than later. But just to be on the careful side, the system of bio bubbles will be adhered to. Maybe it will be downgraded in terms of its severity from time to time. But according to you, do you think it's here to stay?
Look, people in bio bubbles is never easy. You want normalcy to return. You just want to be a normal human being. I'm not saying we need to do something extraordinary, I just read a beautiful piece that people talk about the luxuries of life. The luxuries of life are being able to walk with freedom, move around with freedom, just doing simple things of life. And I think that's the biggest luxury which we are all missing at the moment. It's not about going to fancy restaurants or going on exotic holidays. That's not the point. The point is that we can move around without a mask. We can just go and meet our own people, our own family, without the fear of either contracting the virus or giving it to them. So that is the normal luxury which we are talking about. So from a sport point of view, you don't want it uh, to be in a bio bubble. It's tough for players. Look, there is a life outside every sport. It's not just the sport. Sometimes we all talk about unwinding. Unwinding is not just being in a bio bubble and amongst your own peers. You want to do something different. You just want to take your mind off whatever is your primary occupation. And for that to be in a bio bubble is never easy. Hopefully, we come to a stage sooner rather than later that there is no severity. We just come back to normalcy. And I think that's what is more important. I just don't hope and pray that we're all going to be living in bio bubbles and having to work in bio bubbles.
Hmm. Really, a lot of
Because even for cricketers, look, even for commentators, now that we have finished playing the sport, when we are not working and when we have finished a game and we're in a place, so everybody wants to do something. Like I like to go and play golf. Imagine if you're in a bio bubble, you cannot do that. So somebody wants to go out, just hang around the pool or do whatever he wants to do or she wants to do. You can't do it. You don't want to be in a bio bubble for too long.
Yeah, yeah, but the good thing about golf is that it's one of those sports, where you can actually keep up with the concept of social distancing and still play golf. That's the best thing about playing golf.
Yes, yes, but when you're part of a bio bubble and when you leave the bio bubble, you're breaching the
Yeah,
bio bubble.
it's
So from
absolutely
that
right.
point of view, it's a safe sport, but how do you go out of the bubble?
Murli, there's a concept called FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. It's almost 2 years. A lot of cricketers have not been able to accentuate their game, work on their records, do the things that would have fallen if the natural course of things was followed or prevalent. Do you think that fear of missing out or the things that they have missed out is somehow evident now, even when they play today? Because obviously everybody wants to do their best, and the time that has been lost is something that we all ruminate and introspect about.
We need it's the same for everyone, unfortunately. Yes, I people have missed out. Whoever wants to write exams, they're sitting at home. They're not writing exams. People who are sports people, Olympics has been rescheduled and postponed. So imagine the athletes who have worked all their way to reach there. So it's for everyone. So that's why we come back to the same thing. It's about mental strength right now. It's about um, controlling the controllables. Is it the same? It's the common denominator for everyone. It's not as if that Kartik can go out of the house and Vineet has to sit at home. It's the same for every one of us. So, what is the best we can do given the circumstances? And I think that's where we need to be surrounded with positive people, positive thinking, possibly look a bit inward and figure out what needs to be done. Because the easiest thing to do is get despondent. But the thing
Absolutely.
is, it's not as if that the life has thrown you a carrot and me an apple. Right now, it's the same thing for everyone. And how best we deal with it is up to ourselves, unfortunately. That is where mental strength kicks in. And that's where people who have doubts need to be surrounded by people who are mentally strong or people who are going to keep infusing positive thoughts and positive feelings and positive energy all the time.
Mm. Very last question before we let you go. We all have spent a lot of time at home. A number of us have, picked up new things. You're a superstar when it comes to commentary. I'm sure you missed that. Uh, what have you been doing? Is there something new or novel that you have picked up in the last few days? Is there something in particular that you thought, I haven't gotten my hands on it when I was doing commentary because I was always living out of a suitcase and now I have the time. So let me do it. Is there some concept like that in your life right now?
I've caught up on a lot of sleep, Vinny, to be very honest. And I'm not somebody who sleeps a lot, but I've caught up on a lot of sleep every time I've been home. And I've been the happiest, in fact, being at home because I'm not somebody. During the first lockdown, especially, I didn't even go down. I didn't even go down. I live on the first floor and didn't even go down to the ground floor. And that's how I was. As I'm sitting in my study as I was. The only thing which I did during the first lockdown was read Sai Satcharita, and I read it 6 or 7 times. And I again started it because after the first lockdown, we had our India, Australia, and all the games, the IPL, and then the India, Australia, India, England, and then the IPL. So I couldn't read it because it's a big bulky book. I can't travel with it. It's always in the puja room. So I managed to read that again, and I've started it again. Apart from that, I've not done anything specific to be very honest. Been like a couch potato, watching OTT, watching different things. Yes, I've read books. That is something which I always do. So that doesn't change whether I'm traveling or at home. So reading books, but yeah, I watched lots of stuff on OTT programs, and obviously, as I said, just read the Sai Satcharita.
Murli, what about fitness? How do you keep up with that?
I've done nothing. I've become one of the laziest bums on the planet. I'm not finding any inspiration to do anything, to be very honest. Yes, I do miss golf, but do I want to play golf? No, not given the situation, because again, as I said, it's up to us. It's the responsibility we take. Because till the time I'm not required to do anything outside, it's a must, it's a necessity. I think this can only stop, and we can return to normalcy only if we adhere to some self-discipline. I saw something really wonderful, which I should share. We teach a dog sit and stay, but we're not able to do it ourselves as human beings.
That's a
And
thought.
it hit me very hard. And I said, look, how that's possibly one of the reasons why we are going through a terrible second wave. Because as soon as everything, even the slightest of unlock happened, people just went berserk, as if they'd never gone to a restaurant or never gone to a movie or never done things in life. So I think we owe it to every one of us to be responsible.
That's a very profound thought, and that is something that all the viewers who are watching this interaction can take home with them. And it's always refreshing to talk with you, Murli.
Thank
And
you. No, seriously, can you imagine एक कुत्ते को हम सिखा सकते हैं कि sit and stay, पर हमसे खुद नहीं होता. So that's where it's very, very, very profound in a way. It's funny, but it's profound.
It's profound, and it's perhaps an indication that we should revisit our priorities and
Yeah,
unlearn a few things. We need to unlearn a few things,
100%.
and
100%.
that is perhaps the new normal. Always refreshing to talk to you. You've replenished hope not only in me but all the people who are watching this interview. Thank you so much for
Thank
talking
you,
to
Vinny.
us.
Cheers. Cheers, Vinny.
Thank you.